Well, howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump and the GOP identity crisis. We're getting more and more information about how the One Big Beautiful Bill is shaping up to affect the country. First, can we just stop for a moment to acknowledge that the Ways and Means Committee actually named their package the One Big Beautiful Bill, in all caps. Some might think they're making fun of Trump and don't think he'll pick up on it. But the name isn't important. The content of the reconciliation plan is. It's all over the place. In an attempt to make everybody happy, Speaker Johnson may end up making nobody happy. And based on early numbers, I'm certain of one place that will be unhappy. Senator Hawley has said the Republican Party is having an identity crisis. Yeah, he's about 8 years late, but he's saying it publicly. Hawley came out on the side of not cutting health care to pay for tax cuts. That broken clock just used up both of his times to be right. He actually called tax cuts at the expense of Medicaid, quote, morally wrong and politically suicidal. He also said, quote, if Republicans want to be a working class party, if we want to be a majority party, we must ignore calls to cut Medicaid. So, how are things going over in the House? Well, the parts of the package we've seen include trillions in tax cuts and rich people giveaways, and cuts to Medicaid and nutrition programs. So there's that. Just with what we've seen, it will add just under $5 trillion in costs, $4.9 trillion. Some of that would be offset by hurting what Hawley called the working poor. If you're wondering, yes, Hawley's home state is desperately dependent on a lot of the programs. About a third of the state's revenue comes from the federal government. The $4.9 trillion in costs is expected to balloon substantially. Texas Representative Chip Roy seemed incredibly concerned about the potential for it to balloon and indicated it might not pass, saying, quote, I sure hope House and Senate leadership are coming up with a backup plan. He then added, I'm not here to rack up an additional $20 trillion in debt over 10 years. $20 trillion is a high-end estimate, but not so high it would be called hyperbole. The Republican Party has abandoned the idea of cutting the deficit and debt. So what was DOGE for? All the disruption, all the lost jobs, all the damage caused to the U.S. reputation overseas. That was about cutting the debt, right? That was what they said. But now we're looking at adding trillions. Much like Trump's trade war with China, it just hurt America's workers. Let's be honest. It's easy for politicians to hurt America's workers and get away with it. They just try to blame the other party. And even though Republicans control both houses and all three branches, they'll still try to blame it on Democrats. But while it's easy to trick America's voters, it's not easy to trick the bond market. They can go ahead and collapse the bond market if they want to. You'll see interest rates so high, the economy will grind to a halt. And the Republican Party won't see a majority again for decades. With the economic indicators we have right now, they're playing with fire. The One Big Beautiful Bill might end up being remembered the way we remember the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. Bueller? Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.